Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the numericals on condenser. In evaporator we have seen that there are two approaches which are supposed to be used while solving the numerical, that is NTU method and LMTD method. Similarly, the condenser is also a heat exchanger. So for solving the numerical we are supposed to choose whether to use the LMTD method or NTU method. Choosing the method, again it is same. If all the temperatures, inlet and outlet temperature for both the fluids, if all the temperatures are known to us, then we are supposed to use the LMTD method, and if one of the temperature is unknown, then we can go for the NTU method. Now let's see first the equations which are commonly used or required for the solving the condenser problem. So the basic problem, which if we are using the LMTD method, then the basic equation, that is heat transfer, that is QH, rate of heat transfer in the condenser, it is equal to UO AO into LMTD. Now the another equation for the same parameter, that is QH, we can also use mass flow rate into enthalpy difference, that is H2 minus H3. Okay, so this is basically from your pH chart. Let's say this is your pH chart. Okay, and this is the saturation curve. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is 2 to 3 is the condensing process. So enthalpy difference between 2 and 3 and multiplied by mass flow rate, you will get the heat transfer rate. Now if the condenser is water cooled, then the third equation which we can use as QH is equal to mass flow rate of water into CPW into TWO minus TWI. That means, let's say this is your heat exchanger. This is the heat exchanger. This is the water inlet. So water inlet TWI and water outlet temperature TWO, and here is your refrigerant, okay, having certain temperature, let's say TC. Okay, so and this water is having its own mass flow rate, and this CP also, so specific heat capacity. So from this equation also we can get the heat transfer rate. The another equation, if let's say the air cooled condenser is there, air cooled condenser, so in that case we can write this same QH is equal to MA dot into CPA TAO minus TAI, that means air outlet minus air inlet temperature. Okay, now here CPW for the water is 4.186 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, right? And CP for air is also known to us, that is 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So if the mass flow rates are known to us and temperatures are known to us, CP is also known to us now. If water cooled, then it can we can use it as 4.186, and if it is air cooled, 1.005. So we can easily find from that the heat transfer rate. Now let's see the numerical based on this. So here is the numerical. An air-cooled condenser for a package air conditioning unit is to be designed to transfer 22.2 kilowatt of heat from R22 condensing inside 1.27 centimeter outer diameter and 1.12 centimeter inner diameter tubes at 55 degrees Celsius. The mass flow rate of the refrigerant is 0.162 kg per second. The refrigerant side heat transfer coefficient is 2643 watt per meter square Kelvin. Air circulated is 120 cubic meter per minute, entering at 40 degrees Celsius. The air side heat transfer coefficient is 16.4 watt per meter square Kelvin. The phase velocity of air may be taken as 6 meter per second. The air side has 6 fins per centimeter, so that the fin surface to outside bare tube surface ratio is 20. Determine the fin surface area of the condenser. Neglect the resistance of metal wall. Assume efficiency of the fin surface eta is equal to 0.9. So let's see let me write the given data. So here is the given data. QH is given to us as 22.2 kilowatt. Outer diameter is 1.27 centimeter. Inner diameter is 1.12 centimeter. Temperature of the refrigerant inside the condenser is 55 degrees Celsius. Mass flow rate of the refrigerant is 0.162 kg per second. Heat transfer coefficient on the refrigerant side, and as it is air cooled, so refrigerant is on the inside, inner side, so it is 2643 watt per meter square Kelvin. Volume flow rate of the air is also given to us as 120 meter cube per minute. Then air inlet temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. Outside heat transfer coefficient is 16.4 meter square per Kelvin. 16.4 watt per meter square Kelvin. Then velocity of the air is also given to us as 6 meter per second, and number of fins are 6 fins per centimeter. Now here you can see 6 number of fins. Fins are arranged on the outside. Why not inside? Because you can see here the heat transfer coefficient on the outer side is less. So as to increase the heat transfer rate, we are supposed to use the fins. On the inner side, if we are using the fins, there will be no use, because already you can see the heat transfer coefficient is bigger, right? So that's why the fins are arranged on the outer surface of the tube. Then the fin surface area to the outer surface area of the tube, its ratio is given as 20, and the eta or the efficiency of the fin surface is 0.9. And what we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the fin surface area of the total fin surface area of the condenser. Okay, so basically let's say these are the this is the tube, and so this is the tube, and over this something like this fins are arranged. These are the fins. I'm showing you the enlarged portion, because we can see here 6 fins are there per centimeter. Okay, so these are the fins over the tubes. Okay, so basically what we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the total fin surface area. That means this side surface, this thickness, and the another side, the back side. Okay, so likewise for each fins, if we add, that total area we are supposed to find. Okay, now first as volume flow rate of the air is given, let's find out what is the mass flow rate of the air. So mass flow rate, you can find it by rho into volume flow rate. So as the density of the air, we can take it as 1.2 kg per meter square. So 1.2 into 120. Okay. So from here we will get and again multiply divide by 60, so as to get into per second. So we will get it as 2.4 kg per second. Okay. Now we have a formula, that is QH is equal to m dot A into CPA, T outlet temperature of the air minus inlet temperature of the air. Now from here you can see QH is known to us, mass flow rate is known to us, CPA is also known to us, and inlet temperature is also given to us. So we can find outer temperature of the air. Right. So let's put all the values over here. 22.2 kilowatt, 10 raised to 3, 2.4 into 1.005 into 10 raised to 3 again, because it is in kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and TAO minus 40 degrees Celsius. So if we put all the values over here, we will get the outer temperature of the air, outlet temperature of the air as 49.25 degree Celsius. So let's draw a simple schematic for the heat exchanger. So this is the condensing temperature and this is your air temperature. So condensing temperature, we know it is at 55 degrees Celsius. Inlet temperature of air is 40 degrees Celsius, and outlet temperature we have found it as 49.25 degrees Celsius. Now we have another formula, that is QH is equal to UTAT into LMTD. Now from here you can find the AT, but for that we must know all the other parameters. So QH is known to us, but UT and LMTD are not known to us. So let's see how to find these all things. For LMTD the formula is theta 1 minus theta 2 upon log of n upon theta 1 by theta 2. Now what is theta 1 and theta 2? It is the difference between the inlet temperatures and the outlet temperatures. Okay. So, or you can say this side and this side. So, theta 1 and theta 2. If we take the difference here, so the theta 1 we will get it as 15. Okay. So, 15 degrees Celsius, and theta 2 we will get it as 5.75 degrees Celsius. Okay. So if we put all the values in this one, we will get the LMTD as 9.62 degrees Celsius. Now LMTD is also known to us. Now the next part is UT. So to find the UT, we have the another formula, that is UT 1 by UT AT, that is overall heat transfer coefficient into total area, or the field area basically, equal to 1 upon HT AT into eta T plus 1 upon HI AI. So for the outer, so this is HO, not okay. So HO so HO into total area, including the film surface area and efficiency of the film, plus 1 upon HI, that means inside heat transfer coefficient, into inside area. So now let's take this AT on the other side. So we will get 1 by UT is equal to, so AT will get cancelled, and we will get HO into eta T equal to, plus 1 by HI. Now here it will become the AT by AI. So we can write it as AT by AO multiplied by AO by AI. Okay, so we are adding this, or you can say dividing and multiplying by AO, so as to get this ratio. Now if we see if we see the given data, we can see AT by AO is given to us as 20 degrees Celsius, as well as the diameters of the inlet and the outlet tube, inlet and outlet of the tube is also given to us, right? So DO, DI is also given to us, and AT by AO is also given to us. So we can replace this AT by AO as this by 20 and this by DO by DI. Okay, now we have HO, you have eta T, you have HI, you have this 20, and DOI, DI also. So we can find, by putting all this value, we can find this UT, total overall heat transfer coefficient, as 13.1 watt per meter square. Now as we have found now UT also, LMTD also, so we can put all the values in this one and we can find the total area. So from that equation we will get the AT as 176 meter square. So this is the total area which is available on the outer side, or you can say fin surface area for that condenser. See the another numerical. Determine the length of the tube in a 3-pass shell and tube R22 condenser with 108 tubes for 40 TR chiller. The condensing tube is 43 degrees Celsius. The heat rejection ratio is 1.25. Water is cooled to 30 degrees Celsius in a cooling tower. The temperature rise of the water may be taken as 4.8 degrees Celsius. Use integral fin copper tube with an OD of 1.59 centimeter and ID of 1.37 centimeter with 748 fins per meter length of the tube. Fin are 1 mm thick and 1 mm high over the tube. Determine the length of the plain tube as well. Allow for 10 bottom tube for subcooling. Take condensing coefficient is equal to 1180 watt per meter square Kelvin. Water side coefficient is 6432 watt per meter square Kelvin. Falling factor is 0.00009 meter square Kelvin per watt, and fin efficiency as 0.992. So here is the given data. So from here we can see that the first thing what is said in the question is water is cooled to 30 degrees Celsius in a cooling tower. We know that this is the shell and tube shell and tube condenser is there. So definitely we are supposed to use the cooling tower to cool the water, and that water is cooled to 30 degrees Celsius, and again that is coming back into the shell and tube as an inlet. So we can write this TWI as 30 degrees Celsius. The another thing from here we can see that the fins are used on the outer side, and that outer side is having the refrigerant. Now how to find that outer side is having the refrigerant? You can see here the refrigerant side, or the condensing coefficient is given on the refrigerant side as 1180, and on the water side it is given as 6432. So this one is the lowest one, okay, and it is having the fins. As it is the lowest one, so it needs a fin, and fin are arranged on the outer surface. So we can see that refrigerant is flowing on the outside and water is flowing on the inside. Okay, so falling factor is also given, as water is flowing inside the tube, so falling factor is given as HF. You can see this is 1 by HF, okay, because you can see the unit for that it is, which is the reciprocal of this H, okay, heat transfer coefficient. Then again, okay, the efficiency of the fin is also given to us. So now as QL is given, so we can find QH. Here in the question we are supposed to find the length of the tube, okay. So now QH you can find it as QL into heat rejection factor, okay. So that is equal to 40 into 1.25, and its value is equal to 175.83 kilowatt, okay. So QH we can also write it as UT 80 into LMTD. Okay, so UT80 into LMTD. By using this we can find the QH. Now but QH is known to us. UT we can find, LMTD we can find, and from that we can find the AT, from where we will get the length of the total tube, because the total area, that is the surface area, is there. Okay, so it will definitely include the length. So from that we can find the AT, and ultimately we can find the total length of the tube, right? And which length we are supposed to find? For the plain tube, not including the fin. Okay, so overall outer area, outer length of the tube we are supposed to find. Okay, so let's move to first find this LMTD. Okay, so LMTD, it is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 upon ln theta 1 by theta 2. Now let's say this is your heat exchanger, this is the condenser line, refrigerant line, so 43 degrees Celsius. The inlet is at 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, and it is given that its temperature is raising to 4.8 degrees Celsius. That means outer temperature is equal to 34.8 degrees Celsius. So we have all these temperatures, so we can find theta 1 and theta 2 from here, and we can put all this value over here, and we will get the LMTD as 10.43 degree Celsius. Okay, now once we have found the LMTD, now the next point is to find the UT. So 1 upon UT into AT is equal to 1 upon HOAT into eta T plus 1 upon HI into AI plus falling factor into AI, because it is for the inside area. Okay, now let's transfer this AT on the other side. We will get it as UT is equal to 1 upon HO eta T plus 1 upon HI into AT by AO into AO by AI, which we have done in the previous numerical. Same thing we have done it over here, plus 1 upon HF into AT by AI. Okay, let's see whether this will be required or not, and we will work accordingly. Okay, so now first we are supposed to find this total area. As we don't know length, so we can find the area per length, per meter. Okay, so we can see here in the numerical what is given. Let's say this is the tube, and on the outer surface there is the fin, there are the fins. Okay, so these are the fins. I'm showing only 2 fins over here. Okay, and if we take the front view of this, it will look like this is the inner. Okay, so fin will look like this. Okay, so for that fin, what is given? This thickness is given as 1 mm. Okay, so be equal to 1 mm. Okay, outer diameter is given to us as, so here you can see the total fin area. So total area is equal to the fin area, that means this area, plus the peer-to-peer area, that means between this area. Okay, so fin area we can find it as, let's say this is the front view for that. So this is the height. Okay, so this area, okay, the sketched area is the one of the area, and another on the back side. So this area is equal to this outer diameter, that is total diameter minus inner diameter square. Okay, total diameter square minus inner diameter square into pi divided by 4. Okay, so total diameter is equal to DO minus 2B, that means adding by this outside as well as on this side. Okay, so we can write the fin area is equal to number of fins per meter multiplied by pi. I have taken the pi on the outside, then dt square minus do square by 4. 2 is for one on this side and one on the other side, plus the circumferential area. Okay, so this is pi dt is the circumference for the fin into the thickness, that means this one. Okay, so this is how we will get the fill area. Now putting all this value, we will get the fill area as 0.12144 meter square. This is the fill area. Now next one is the bare tube area. So bare tube area, that is, it will be equal to pi into dO. Okay, pi into dO means what? This total, okay, per meter length, so only pi into dO. Okay, so that is this, and we are supposed to minus this all areas. Okay, that's circumferential area, right? So but not circumferential, it will be here, like here. Okay, so this area we are supposed to subtract, so it will be equal to minus pi dO into how many times there are what is the thickness? It is 1 mm. Okay, and how many numbers of fins are there? 748. So multiply by 748. Okay, multiply by thickness is 1 mm, so 0.001. Okay, so this will give you the bare tube area, and its value is equal to 0.01258. Okay, now we have bare tube area as well as the fin area. So we can write total area per length is equal to 0.134 meter square. Now we have the formula, that is UT, 1 upon UT is equal to 1 upon HO eta T plus 1 upon HI into AT by AI. Okay, AO is not needed, so we are not using over here. 1 upon falling factor. Okay, so sorry, falling factor into AT by AI. Right, now we have found the AT, okay, that is per meter length of the tube, and we can find AO, that is pi into DI, again per meter length. So its value is equal to 0.04302. Okay, now putting all these values in this one, because HO is known to us, eta is known to us, HI is known to us, ATAI is known to us now, which is per meter length. Okay, and HF is known to us, and this value is also not known to us, so we can find UT as equal to 624 watt per meter square Kelvin. As these both values are per meter length, so it will get cancelled and we will get the whole value of the UT. Okay, now from QH, okay, our formula is UT into AT, total area, okay, which is not per meter length, okay, that is total area, into LMTD. LMTD we have found, UT is now known to us, QH is known to us, so we can find the total area as 27.02 meter square. This is the total area. Okay, now what we want, we are supposed to find the tube length. Okay, tube length, and that is again for plain tube length. Okay, so we must know for that the outer area, how much is the outer area. So outer area we can find it by pi dO into L. Okay, but now we have, so AO is equal to pi dO into L, but we are supposed to we don't know L, so we can take it per meter length, so it will be 0.04993. Okay, and AT by AO, this is for per meter length. Okay, so if we take that, and we will get the ratio as 2.684. now we have the ratio AT by AO. Okay, so we can write as this total area. Okay, total area by pi dO L. There are certain number of tubes are there. Okay, so we are supposed to multiply by n. Now that n you can find that n is given that there are 108 tubes. Okay, so 108 tubes are there, and 10 tubes are for condensation, so there will be 98 tubes from here. So L will be 2.06 meter.